blue collar work. The reason why I brought this big old 36 pack of Coors Banquet.
The real time you tricked me.
The real. Oh, no! This just does that. It's shit. It's shit piss
What
beer. It always
percentage
does
is it?
that. What?
I couldn't find it.
It's like 4 or like 5.
It's not even written on it.
Because it's barely alcoholic.
Yeah.
It barely qualifies.
I was just curious.
There's probably more. There's probably more alcohol in this zero sugar Dr. Pepper.
Probably. I had to drink like 6 of these to get anywhere, and then it like didn't last very long.
By that
I could drink 6 of these before I could drive.
By that I want to mean sugar alcohol, because that is how they make zero sugar soda.
Yeah.
So.
But that's why we're drinking Coors.
Yeah.
Is because podcasting is blue collar work. You don't know how.
Are you saying
exhausting Coors?
I hear so many people say just Coors.
Coors?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't.
But it is correct.
Coors. You're
supposed to say Coors.
Who the fuck are you hanging out with that says Coors?
I've heard a lot of guys
I
say
feel like
Coors.
I would say Coors.
Yeah.
But I don't buy it, so I never had to say it.
Yeah, well,
Coors.
good.
It's literally how it's pronounced.
Hey, you want some Coors?
Yeah.
That'd be funny if somebody was like, you said it like Coors. You said Coors? Huh, that's gay. We say Coors. And it's like, that is like the most, like, that would be the straightest thing I've heard in my entire life.
Coors.
That would officially be what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coors Banquet. It's a good
I
shit.
don't taste booze. It tastes like interesting
If
water.
it's not Rocky Mountain water, it'll never be Banquet.
Is that what it? Oh.
Is that what it is? All right.
Yeah, it says it right
I
here.
don't want to drink a beer.
Fuck our
I
water
don't like
supply,
beer.
huh?
Fuck it.
I'm just using it to wet. I was screaming in the car all the way here.
Yeah.
So I need to like moisten my throat. Yeah,
Okay.
people cannot drive. I'm
Wow.
so fucking pissed.
That's funny. That's
was
why I
so
have my
brutal.
Curb soundtrack. I just throw that on, and it screams for me. Like some jackass is in front of me, and I throw on.
You just listen to the Curb Your Enthusiasm soundtrack while you're driving.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
I'm like,
pretending you're in a TV show makes you okay with the reality.
It does, because it provides the
all the
proper
idiots on the road.
context for bullshit that happens on the road.
I just
That's
don't
true,
get.
yeah.
I just pull away enough where all the bullshit's in front of me, not like way in front of me, and I never have a problem with it.
Sounds like you're
Yeah.
holding up traffic.
yeah, you sound like you're the one who's.
I'm not on the
problem
left
here.
side. I barely ever go on the left side for that reason.
Yeah.
You can
That's
pass.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't care.
I just
Pass me, bitch.
yeah, do it. Pass me. It just drives me insane.
Move, bitch. I'm out the way.
Well,
I'm
okay,
out the
so
way.
it's because-
I'm out the way.
It's because you drive smaller cars. I'm driving big now a diesel
That is
truck.
That is true. It's
I was driving an
completely different.
extended back end,
Yeah.
and so I could easily hit somebody, and so I drive like a bus.
You are totally right. That is
Yep.
like a completely different.
That's a good point.
Even my own
Case
truck is
altogether.
not that small,
Yeah.
so it's a decently mid-sized. But I don't I treat it like a normal truck. So like I don't
Yeah.
I don't have like some people in the morning were like
You've always had
you're gonna die.
You've always had
Yeah.
a big back end.
You
I
got
sure
a
do.
noticeably big back end.
There's always trunk.
Hey, you're always trucking.
There's always trunk.
Have you gotten any complaints from the neighbors yet?
A neighbor just talked about it. Oh, yeah? Well, before, even the last truck was loud.
Uh-huh.
And so I was working for the neighbor at an office building that I didn't even show she was at.
Yeah, this is going to be the burping
This
one.
is gonna be really.
This
burpy,
Dr.
yeah.
Pepper gets me all
She was
fuzzy.
just like, I know
Yeah.
when you wake up because I hear the truck. And I'm like, oh, God, I hate that. Because it's not my fault.
Right,
And this
yeah.
truck is even louder. So
Yeah.
what I do, I'm trying to prevent, even though they never actually complained to me. I don't think they would. They're nice people.
Well, it's also like, what are they gonna fucking do? You know, if
I have
they
a
did
gun.
complain.
I can point
Yeah.
it at you.
I have a gun.
No, I actually have a gun on me.
Well, yeah, like what? You know, it's not like you're breaking
Yeah,
a law. Like
No, it's just they would wake up. But they're old people. They wake up early.
they wake up at they go to bed at like 6.
Yeah.
their bedtime's now.
But I try to be nice. Now with the diesel, which is 10 times as loud, I start it and then I just basically go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't
That makes
like
sense.
that. It's just
You're
because
not idling and hanging
I'm not
around
idling
and,
in the
yeah.
front. I'm like I turn it on because you have to actually wait for the engine to tick in
Yep.
before you even turn it on. You gotta let the engine. I forgot what it's called, but you turn it over before there's any noise. Then you can start it and just go.
But that means
Yeah,
So I get out real quick.
that means you're buying diesel gas. Is that like a different experience? You know,
I haven't had to
reaching
buy it
your-
yet. I've only got it for
well,
this week.
yeah, you gotta
okay.
you gotta let me know because
So different.
I've never had the thought process of reaching over to the forbidden left side.
Yeah, no,
no,
never.
I haven't
yeah.
yet either. I actually need to get gas.
If I'm not pressing
Diesel, sorry.
I don't know what I would do if I press anything other than 85. I don't know. I don't know what that does.
I got 97 one day, and I'm like, all right, that's enough of a treat.
Ben has ethanol.
A little bit of a treat.
87, not 97. What the fuck?
Yeah, holy shit.
97%, 100%. I went and got a bottle of Everclear and just dumped it into the gas tank.
Yeah, just in
I think that
just
technically
like
could work a little bit.
the gangsters
It'll
and
get
Prohibition
you somewhere.
Yeah, but it could mess up your engine after that.
Like fucking like literally gasoline, shit like that.
That was done in a movie. I forget which
movie?
name
What?
of it
Deliverance.
was. No, it's not Deliverance.
What did he say?
No, it was a gangster movie where they were doing bootlegging and Prohibition, and then they're on the road and they've got tons of bottles and they run out of gas and they're yelling at each other and like, you dumbass, and the police are coming down the other side of the road and they're like, and they grab one of the bottles and just start pouring it in, and it starts up the car just in time for them to get going as the cops pass them.
That makes sense actually for the era too. The engines were different.
Yeah.
They have so many safety systems now.
Talk about going fucking blind from drinking. That was the time to do it. Those were the days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we missed out.
Truly, yeah.
You can go blind if you want. Moonshine's still a thing.
It would take me a lot
You
longer.
can go blind if you want to. You can not see your friends behind you.
Yeah. It would be a lot easier to drink myself to death. I wouldn't have to do it one beer can at a time.
This would be literally the water was going to kill you first.
Yeah. Yeah. That used to be beer saved humanity. I know we talked about that before.
Did we?
Yeah.
I can't remember the things that we've talked about. I think we have.
The idea that beer was what we literally did.
We dip into history sometimes.
I haven't had the actual history book, but I think it was like beer literally was the reason why we had clean drinking water, and then we got off of beer when we had better systems. But everyone basically had a fermented system for the longest time.
Yeah, all right, makes sense.
Must have been awesome back in the day, just being drunk all the time.
Jimmy's writing. Don't cut off anything Matt's saying history-wise. Boring shit.
Anything Matt says related to history immediately gets censored.
Yeah, that's why I said we dip into history sometimes.
Oh, I get it now. Yeah, I was just like, I didn't really get it.
Yeah,
I was writing down our some of our topics.
Oh, great.
Well, we could jump right into it.
We do.
Let's start with topic the last
right.
one. No, let's start with the last topic first.
No, because the first one has money tied to it.
Oh, okay.
Because my good friend Red, friend of the pod, Red,
friend of the pod,
friend of the podcast, paid us $6.
Whoa!
Yep, he bought us a coffee.
And yet I do not have a coffee.
Yeah. Well, the first guess what? The first $12 a month has to go to the fucking subscription that keeps this thing alive.
I guess that's true.
This is
yeah.
Oh, if you want us to start paying you back, no, it's fine.
You should
it's fine.
I was telling him,
no.
Do you need the loan? Do you need the cash?
No, I said I have too many hobbies that require buying things now. Because I get, I'm getting into. I did this. This is very little audio equipment. I actually have a little bit in my. If you ever need, I have a small board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could show you it. But this cooking. So I've been getting more cooking supplies.
Yeah.
Obviously, my job, which I've been buying like $100, more than hundreds of dollars of tools.
Oh, you have to get all the special tools and the manuals. Yeah, for the
you're a
new
big book guy.
standards and stuff.
Well, I mean, I just got another book about the new standards.
Oh yeah, and books in general. For you.
Yeah, I have too many like hobbies where you collect things, even though
I've got to start buying like vocal processors and better chords.
Yeah,
and
you got to
amp
start
and
buying
shit.
stuff for band stuff.
Yeah.
I got stuff to use it. I don't use it all the time.
I'm kind of going the opposite. Like I've always felt that like I guess I don't necessarily know if it's like the hobbies I'm into, the things I'm doing are more expensive. It's more that I'm just more conscious of the money that I have because I'm an adult.
Yeah,
and it's like damn
$100
don't go as far as I thought it did.
No,
you know.
I remember being a kid in Toys R Us and being like, man, if I had $100, I'd get it.
I know, right?
I'd buy this whole store.
I'd be king.
Dude,
I'd
it
be
did feel
king,
like that. Yeah, $100 is nothing now.
Yeah, it's fucking nothing.
Anyway,
but like
$6.
now for me, it's like, you know, whoa, it's $6. I mean, we're gonna talk about it eventually, but when we get to it,
all right,
you know, we go on a tangent.
Yeah, I just don't want to lose it.
No, we're not gonna lose it. I have it written down here, but I was.
I don't want to owe $6 because we didn't address it. You know,
I gotta refund Red his money. That'd be funny. No, like I've been trying to do the opposite. I've been trying to get away from that. So I've been writing my own RPGs, so I don't have to feel tempted to buy anything else.
Congrats.
Spotify is back on the menu just because I realized I was spending like literally like hundreds of
Dude,
dollars.
I
a month
saw how
on
much
music.
you were spending. Oh my god!
Do not ask. I've calculated.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know exactly, but I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I've calculated how much my Bandcamp account is worth. It's not good.
You constantly
I've
be
still
like,
got a
no,
lot
I
from
just spent like $20. I got 40,000 songs of freaking
Yeah, but
Dungeon Synth, and I'm like, okay, do you have the time to listen to all that?
I just put it on shuffle. I put it all on shuffle and I listen to it. I build playlists, especially like when it's like vaporwave or when it's like or like Dungeon Synth, especially for games or whatever. Both of those I use for games. But like but yeah, no, like, I mean, at the very beginning too, like when I really started buying music, it was like, yeah, that album's $10, no big deal. So it's just like literally, I actually, for the past couple weeks, I was ripping albums off of YouTube like I was in fucking middle school.
Jeez, nice.
I did do that.
Yeah, I've done that a few times.
Especially because I realized the albums that I got, they aren't available anywhere else. Someone uploaded them to YouTube and good. Otherwise, I have to buy like a $200 CD.
I have to do that with obscure Russian.
Same, yeah. The Russian Eastern funk music.
Yeah.
For me, it's classic heavy metal, like Heavy Load and stuff like that, or fucking some Manila Road albums and stuff like that. Like if you don't have the CD, they just don't have them on Spotify, and you can't buy the MP3s.
I really like the wafers.
Yeah, their wafers, the wafers they drop. Yeah. Everybody talks about their music, but nobody talks about the wafers. Wafers, yeah, enough at least. Yeah. Underrated.
Over my head. Oh, yeah.
Wow, over your head. You're the one cooking.
So Red's question was.
We're actually getting questions.
Now. We are. Yeah.
Oh wow, topics. This is. Yeah. I don't know. This is the first breach of the podcaster to listener
fourth wall.
Fourth wall. This is. I'm feeling a different energy now.
Oh, I guess it's the first time where they're talking back. Usually we're just talking.
This is wild.
Them. Yeah,
it's real. I'm afraid right now. I'm scared.
Be afraid.
I'm shaking in my little. I wish I was wearing boots, but I'm not.
But you're shaking in them. If you were, you'd be shaking in them.
That's mostly my restless leg syndrome.
So his.
Do you have that too?
Yeah, I've always had it.
I have that too.
So hang on. His question was, what kind of character builds and archetypes have you played the most or least, and why?
Oh, man.
Which I think is interesting because I always play the same character.
Yes.
Casey always plays different characters.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Matt kind of does a bit of both.
I think it might be best for us to address each other's most played.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Jimmy plays the paranoid, untrustworthy, incapable of trusting anyone else or even reality itself. No matter what game we play.
He is in the middle of high school where no one can tell him what to do.
Ever.
Yeah. At any point in time.
If an NPC starts talking to Jimmy, if an NPC starts talking to one of Jimmy's characters, immediately it's a problem. That NPC becomes in danger. So does all the other player characters at the table.
I'm paranoid. I jump to conclusions and I take insane risks based on those that paranoia and those assumptions.
The thinnest line of anxiety,
and it's hilarious.
I have the slightest excuse to start chopping heads off.
A moose will talk to you and you want to kill it.
I think it's
which I did. I did that.
It seems also preemptive to try and avoid being entangled in the plot, but you end up brewing the plot to be more of a problem than it was previously.
Probably because I make all the wrong choices at all the wrong times.
Yeah, no, it's a DM's dream. That's actually one of the big issues I've had running games is typically your characters become the main characters because they're a problem.
Well, because they're a train.
Yeah. Because you just respond, you soak up, and then you go. You spit out something completely different that I'm like, no, that's not what I was thinking at all. But
paranoia, that's true, yeah.
But now, how am I going to pass it up?
Everything is filtered through that paranoia.
I got a package from my grandmother. My grandmother must be dead. I hate her. Let's go kill my grandmother.
We're gonna go I'm gonna mail her a bomb back.
So I'm like, I shouldn't prep for the grandma. What's the grandma doing? I start doing some rolls. I'm like, all right. Oh, well,
grandma is evil.
Yeah,
how'd you know?
Your grandma is evil.
Yeah, what do you know? that actually does kind of. I feel like I always knew that that's how that worked, but for some reason, you telling it to my face is really funny because it's like, yeah, I wonder how much of that. Yeah, just giving you ideas.
Yeah,
you know, we should look up all the D&D types of problem players and then assign one to each of us because I'm the instigator by far.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Matt refuses to play a character the way it should be played, and instead likes to take whatever high-level thought processes he's been soaking up for the past 3 weeks and dump them into a narrative to the point where regular fantasy structure or even sci-fi structure just breaks apart under the duress.
Yeah.
I mean, he did this playing a Ferengi in Star Trek, just constantly using the replicator to create weird objects that's momentarily
spaghetti.
Yeah, momentarily. Just I'm like, it doesn't matter. This is slowing down the game, and then ends up being the thing that saves everyone.
You know, I kind of think I know that we've talked at length about your play style.
I feel like they mostly talked about my play style.
We usually bully you about your play style on this podcast.
Oh, you can't bully me.
But why am I just like me personally? I'm not good enough to bully you. Is that what you're saying?
No!
Is that what's happening?
No, I'm saying
you're going to need better bullies.
You're going to need stronger bullies.
No, just good luck.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
above.
No, I think you challenge the idea. If I challenge the idea of plot, you challenge the idea that we're playing a game at all.
Yes.
Yes. You're very good at challenging what the boundaries of the game. And it's like it's very easy to like poke holes where it's like, yeah, I have a replicator, I just make whatever I want, so I'm just gonna make a fuckload of spaghetti, and then the GM is like, oh yeah, I guess so, you know, or
Ravenloft, where you're like, I'm gonna be playing a infernal blooded sorcerer that wants ultimately on paper as much power as he can get. And then every time it comes up that I'm like, do you want power? You're like, no, I just want to go back to my farm and make soup. Every time.
Yep.
Just refusing the call to action.
While going.
While creating your own call of action every time.
Are you also an instigator just in a different way?
No, I was going to say I'm also an instigator.
Yeah.
How's it feel to be at the table with two problem players who are dedicated to derailing?
Oh, it's amazing.
Well, it's because we get the plot going.
Yeah,
we do get shit rolling.
We make the day. Like things happen.
He played one game of 2nd edition where he was given a spellcaster, and the moment Matt realized that the only thing he could do was cast Flare once per day, he immediately started gathering up all the intestines of all the monsters we were killing and just tying them into ropes.
That was
the one time we played with Noble.
I want to have you. I want to have you in like an OSR game again. I feel like you're just so perfectly built for OSR.
Once
play.
we got to
That's so beautiful.
Once we got to the boss, he was tying just throwing lassos of intestines onto the boss and then tying it to our legs as well.
That's cool.
Just going, I want to see what happens.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
I think the first time I ever played with you, you were playing a Minotaur. And you ran in
the darkness.
You just ran in right through complete darkness over a pit trap, and you're like, oh, and I'm like, yep, you're falling, and I'm like, well, let's see, how big of a Minotaur are you? It's only a 5-foot pit. You're okay, so really, you would trip over it and you slam down and slide right into the darkness as you can just feel grit, grinding up the front side of your chest. What do you do next? And he goes, hello? I'm like, you just fell over a pit. You're surrounded by darkness and a terrifying... And you say, hello?
Hello?
It's hilarious because Matt is more inclined to be a social... He plays social characters every time, yet he refuses to back those up mechanically.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
You refuse to back anything up mechanically. But I feel like you remind me that it's a game.
Yeah.
That it's like it's a toy to be played with. You know, it's like really easy to get like up in your own ass about like plot or a gameplay loop or like, you know, very very specific procedures and stuff, and sometimes you forget there's like this entire toy box that you could just do shit with.
Yeah,
that's what I've always thought. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I've always hated the character sheet.
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh, yes, famously
you
so,
used
yeah.
to not even update the character sheet.
I remember that when we were fighting. It was the Ravenloft.
We
No,
got
it was,
to the end of the campaign, and we're like, "All right, Matt, you're gonna PvP against the other character."
He hadn't updated his sheet for 3 levels,
and then we're like, "How do you have 13 HP?"
we're like level 12. What the fuck happened? Yeah,
Never need it.
Yeah, it never
that's
came
true.
up.
That is true. That is more of a testament to his playstyle. He never had to update it.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
Never.
It's
And then,
fantastic.
Oh, sorry.
go ahead. Casey is the.
Oh yeah.
I always have a hard time.
Let's rip into Casey.
I always
really
think
quick.
about it, but I know there's like a word for it. That makes it sound like an insult.
Well, Casey's. Yeah.
there's a word for what you are.
There's a word. Well, but apparently I can't say it on the podcast.
I think you like playing the escape artist
Oh,
because you know you don't want to be in the front. You want to you want to instigate, but you also want to.
You're also an instigator.
You want to control the situation.
Yes, you are.
And he doesn't want to be hit by by usually his last few characters have all been will cause shit to happen and then go in the background.
well, so
Yeah.
He escapes very easily.
The thing that I found that I enjoy the most these days is playing support. I love playing support. The fact that my character can do something
you're
cool.
you've been mostly support.
Let's get down to the base level. I'm a power gamer. All right, I've always been a power gamer.
Yep.
But I'm not a power gamer for the sake of I just want to do the best shit ever. I'm a power gamer because I, as a player, am paranoid. I want to have all the options I can. I multi-class anytime I can, so I can just have more features, more
options,
little buttons I
You
can
build
push.
wide, not tall.
Yes,
basically,
I always build wide. But ultimately, I won't play a build. I won't play a character unless I have some actual role play behind it that I want to envision.
Power gamer doesn't make sense. I was originally going to say instigator because the characters that you make directly spit in the face of any regular conventions of the game design or the environments in which we play.
Yeah.
But that's because you're a power gamer that you're able to do that because you still make characters like we did in Pathfinder 1.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
The fact that you still make characters like Pathfinder characters.
Oh, yeah. If I'm making a character, I spend at least 2 or 3 days on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Opposite.
Yeah, that's the complete opposite. For me, it's somewhat the complete opposite. For you, it's the complete fucking opposite.
That goes all the way down to looking up third-party sources for basic materials that are in their bags. On just this character sheet, I have a gig whirl in a specific black pouch that's referenced on the left side of my character.
Man.
A gig whirl is just a spinning top that makes some noise that was in a splat book from 2nd edition. But it costs 1 gold piece.
If there's anybody who needs to commission artwork of their characters, it's you.
Yeah.
I'd say most commonly, besides playing support, I tend to play I tend to play the bastard character.
Yeah, that's true.
Kurugux, definitely in our
in-party
current
bastard.
game, he's a bastard.
Yeah, the in-party instigator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
the player instigator.
I love being the
Yeah.
player instigator. My one of my most famous characters was Ostap, which would be a character that I just constantly disguise. I'd show up with a folder, say I'm playing a new character, pass it by the DM. I'm playing the exact same character that I've always played. He's just in a different costume with different buttons to push, so no one can tell.
Yeah.
Until I start acting in a certain way, and people are like, "Is this Ostap?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is."
That's cool. That's dedication. I feel like I need to spend a lot more time on the content I make and the characters I produce for that reason. Not that I have to spend 2 or 3 days on a single character, but it's so cool to produce something like that, to get lost into something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
I
different
enjoy
feel.
it.
It is.
Yeah,
it is a different
it's
feel.
real researching into characters.
I just don't have the time anymore, really. Or not that I don't have the time. It's just that I choose to spend my time in other ways. But that a level of in-depth research definitely shows at the table when you're both running and when you're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that level 20 game, how many times could you attack?
Oh God, it was at least 9. That was before I hit some other buttons.
Some fighter.
No, I was a level 20 ranger that used a greatsword.
Oh, okay.
Then we went Gestalt, and I slapped fighter onto it.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
I was a Gloomstalker, so that meant that in the first round I got 2 extra attacks. I think it's 1. I think it's 2 once you get to the max level of ranger with that. At least with the newer. New ranger's crazy cool. I haven't even. I noticed that a few days ago. I looked back in a ranger. I'm like, holy shit! They fixed it.
The Unearthed Arcana.
Yeah, just if you look up just 5e Ranger, it includes all the other the versatile options, all the other optional stuff. And immediately it's like, no reason to take Natural Explorer, gain fucking climbing, walking, swimming speed.
Speaking of Wizards of the Coast, we actually have a sponsor for this podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Pinkerton.
Pinkerton, yes.
It's sponsored by, a bunch of murderous union busters.
Coming to a house near you.
Yeah, coming to a house near you. Apparently, the whole refrain where it's like, what? You don't have to play the new edition. They can't take your old books. Well, as it turns out, they most certainly can.
Yep.
They could, yeah.
I will say, I was talking with some friends last night, though, and I less blame Wizards and I more blame the streamer. Because the dude, let them into his house.
Yeah.
They weren't cops. They can't impersonate police. Even if they were police, you don't let him into your house without a warrant.
He's
the
under
fact
duress.
that he's under duress, but it's one thing to be under duress. Yeah. Look, it's one thing to be under duress if you're in a different sort of situation. Under duress at my house, doesn't matter how much duress I'm under. I'm not letting someone in my house. You know what I'm saying? That's insane to me that the thought process was, let's let this murderous security company into my house to take my fucking illegal elf pictures.
If Werner Herzog just showed up at your door tomorrow, you gonna let him in?
Werner Herzog, the fucking RoboCop director?
Yeah.
Would I let him in?
Yeah. If he asked.
Hello, Jimmy. Can I come in?
Hello, Jimmy.
Is there a pun
Could
here?
I please come into your house?
No idea what he's
Can I please come into your house, yeah? We can watch Total Recall, yeah.
No, it was just the first name that came to my mind. I'm like, you're not going to let anyone in your house.
No, I'm not going to let anybody in my fucking house. You know what I do when I answer? I think I've talked about what I do before when I answer the door.
Yeah.
When I answer the door, I only open it a crack, and I keep, my side, behind me, so it looks like I'm, concealing something, and then I'm like, yeah, hey, what's up? And I'm, looking around them. I pretend I'm running a meth house. And then
that makes sense.
Whenever we have fucking people who are selling solar stuff come around and they see me answer the door like that, they're like, you know what, sir? No, we were just, no, have a good day, sir. And they just fucking walk away. You just act as sketch as humanly possible. So yeah,
I mean, anytime I've been to your house, I usually just walk in.
Yeah, it's two levels.
Yeah,
it's either intense paranoia. Or, you can have a key to my house. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Those are the only two levels.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I would be pretending I run a meth house if Pinkerton showed up at my door. That's all I'm saying.
How would you know? Do they look like they have a huge badge that says Pinkerton?
So
wouldn't they mostly be just wearing
shouldn't they be wearing
outfit?
pink?
Pinkerton.
they're fat Italian.
Don't they just look like
pink
straight
suits.
SWAT?
I think their uniforms, because they were probably wearing their uniforms. They probably looked like Brinks people, where it's
that's what I'm saying.
They look kind of like cops, but they aren't, and they were making demands and threats and stuff like that. But again, even if full blown cops come up to your door and they ask to enter, it's like, do you have a warrant?
Yeah.
And Pinkerton, if they said, yeah, we're just going to enter your house, that they could get clocked with impersonating police and shit like that.
Which they're basically hinging a little bit that.
They are.
Yeah. They're trying to use that, yeah.
But I don't know. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to let people into your house like that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, if a bunch of guys showed up in pink suits, I'd probably let them in. I gotta see what this is.
Some 360-pound Italian men.
Yeah,
they're 5'2".
Yeah,
weigh and then they have to turn it. They're in big pink suits. They're sweating through the suits. And they have to turn in sideways to get through the door.
Yeah.
We heard you acquired some pictures of our elf friends.
Yeah, I'm expecting a Sopranos a cappella group. This is gonna be cool.
Sopranos a cappella group.
Yeah,
they're covering tracks used in The Sopranos as an a cappella group pretending to be characters from The Sopranos.
Yeah. That seems like a good niche.
It's fucking no.
No.
I'm starting a third band.
I saw the twinkle in your eye.
Woke up this morning,
who would
got
book that?
myself a gun.
Who would book that?
I'd book it.
Yeah.
I'd book it.
I know you would book it. But you're the one who'd be in it.
I know two other people that would.
The type of people who'd be in it aren't the same people who would book it.
So what are they
I can't
for?
be in it. I'm not Italian.
So what are they for? What do they do? Telegram stuff?
Oh, what?
Are they like like telegrams,
like candygrams.
Yeah, candygrams. Is that what they do?
Do gangster candygrams? You show up with bags of sugar, pretending to be like Scarface, and it's like Coke.
Yeah,
shit like that. It's all candy themed.
They wanted to send a message that can't be refused. There's some good. There's some chocolates in there.
You want to be my Valentine? I'm just gonna say you're gonna want to be my Valentine.
I'll be your Valentine for a regular recurring fee.
People keep asking me if I'm gonna be your Valentine. Yeah,
I think I'm gonna be your Valentine. I think I'll be your Valentine. Yeah, no, that sounds fucking god awful.
No.
But no, I think it's insane how is Wizards just really making one big blunder after another, or is it just now all of a sudden they're under scrutiny, so we're seeing it all?
That makes more sense.
Apparently they use them
from what I've studied with
I believe
determinants about media. The second one's probably true.
It's probably true. Yeah. But what was like the first big thing? I guess the SRD thing was the biggest one.
There was stuff before that. The harassment allegations in their entire office. That was a big thing. That opened it all up.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah.
Them having discriminatory pay practices with like artists and stuff they'd hire too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember hearing that too. Yeah.
Well, I remember hearing that, and it was like it didn't
really... Allegedly.
Well, that's the thing, right? It is allegedly. It's like we don't know, and like that shit like popped off on Twitter for a bit and then like disappeared. Like everyone forgot about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that nobody could like corroborate any of it, or a lot of it got like swept under the rug or whatever. But like them changing the SRD from them changing the OGL was a very demonstrably like they literally did it. They literally said, "Yeah, here's the new version. And it's awful."
Yeah.
Like it's
and really that should have been very covert.
It should have been.
It wasn't, luckily.
Yeah.
It got blown out to the correct proportion that it needed.
It was blown out to the correct proportion. I would agree.
Yeah. Just like those men in those pink suits, the correct proportion.
The correct proportions. Yeah. They're like they're shaped like pizzas.
Great.
But no, like I guess because the other things too. I mean, because here's the thing too, right? Is like if this Pinkerton thing happened before all of this started happening, I bet no one would have even talked about it because it would have been like, how do you prove that? How do you like, like what's going on?
I wouldn't have known about it unless I saw a clickbait article forwarded to me. So
yeah,
and then I clicked it because I'm like, oh, I love bait.
Oh, I'll take the bait all day, every day. But yeah, no, it's. I know that a lot of it too is being related to their whole, push to the virtual tabletop, trying to monetize the whole thing, and it's just, I don't think it's gonna go well. Just like their whole D&D movie thing didn't go very well.
Ooh, all right, Matt, take the reins.
I've been waiting to segue into that for days now.
Matt, the defender of all media. This is
leave alone the multi-million-dollar company.
Well, I was gonna start with because the Pinkerton stuff happened after I watched it. Was number one, stop supporting them.
Yeah, holy shit! Stop giving Wizards money, you fucking cocks.
If you like the Magic the Gathering, I'm sorry. Get help with addiction.
Do proxies, my guy.
The game hasn't been good for several years.
I mean, if you still like it, just
it was
try
never
to find
good.
another way.
I got tricked into playing it.
Yeah. The game as intended was never good. Command, all the side formats are always better.
Do not support Hasbro. Holy shit.
Yeah, no.
Do not support. So
write your own shit. Play OSR. Play Burning Wheel.
I hate the side format.
But
once someone came to me and they're like, "No, it's just buy 100 card deck and then you can play all the games you want." I'm like, "No, I don't want to buy. That's 40 more cards than a regular deck, and it took me this long to learn the fucking rules of how to build one deck. I don't want to build another deck."
My Commander deck's like worth maybe $160. You put that money in there and you can literally play that for like the rest of your life. I haven't had to buy in Magic cards again.
That's great. I never want to play the same deck for the rest of my life. That's not why I play Magic.
I only play Magic as a means to an end. I only play Magic to hang out with the boys.
Yeah, that's why I did it, because everyone else started doing it and I felt left out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, how do I do this? And they're like, there's all these cards. And I'm like, I don't understand why you're just mixing all these different themes. I want to play elephants.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Elephants is fun, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's why it's your job and it's your duty in any friend group you're in to ruthlessly make fun of anything anyone else likes, so that only like the things that are like the best will end up being the things everyone does.
Yeah. I had my legs tied up under the chair, and then I got a leg cramp, and I was just I was stuck. It was
right now.
I was a lot of pain. Matt heard some shoes squishing. He was like,
I can't hear it.
We had interrupted Matt. I'm sorry.
Yes.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was starting with
yeah.
fuck Hasbro.
Yeah, fuck Hasbro. Don't give them money.
Absolutely try not to give them
There's
money.
so many RPGs out there. D&D is not the only RPG. Don't make excuses for yourself. If you buy D&D products, you are the enemy.
If you want to,
that's it.
If you want to play D&D, find the ways that don't give them money.
Yeah. Make your own shit up. Buy other systems.
That being said,
read the in between.
Steal the SRD and just play the SRD.
I wouldn't
and
advocate stealing, but find another way.
Well, the SRD's free, so it isn't even stealing.
I wouldn't advocate free, but no.
I would advocate you must be doing damage to Wizards' finances if you're not pirating shit.
Because I was gonna joke about I was gonna wear a suit and be a defense lawyer of this movie.
Yeah.
And then when the Pinkerton stuff happened, I'm like,
I don't want to do that anymore.
That's why. Yeah. To start with, fuck Hasbro.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm basically taking Hasbro out of the movie. There's nothing to do with Hasbro.
That being said,
the D&D movie, Honor Among Thieves, has been the closest, I haven't seen all of them all, to the spirit of the game that I've seen.
Yep. And
Ew.
Hasbro aside, as someone that has studied narrative quite a lot, the writers did a decent job.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't like either of these points.
Yeah.
Okay, first off, prosthetic costumes, actual practical effects. I was not going in expecting any of that. But the fact that they actually had costumed Aarakocra, costumed Dragonborn, costumed Tabaxi, that was actually a huge mistake. They shouldn't have done that. It looked nothing like it.
Tabaxi, they also shouldn't have done that CGI dwarf at the end. It looked awful.
Which one?
In the labyrinth, they just had this dwarf who was like going to open the chest and shit, and it was like
yeah, that was a lot.
It looked awful. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it was CGI. It looked more Hobbit to me. Like flat out was like, is this one of the extras from the Hobbit movies? Like the third one?
No, wasn't the dwarf? You mean in the maze?
Yeah,
in the maze.
No, that was from the cartoon. That was the continuation of those characters. That's the kid.
I don't think there's a dwarf in the cartoon, is there?
Oh, was it a dwarf?
No, there's not.
I thought it was the kid.
There was a dwarf because they had the cartoon adventuring party, then they had another set of rando adventures.
They continued the joke too. Yeah. It was the dwarf, but also the kid was looking for his axe.
Yeah, no, that was good. The kid got his axe, but I also don't see. I don't know. They didn't have to do the cartoon stuff. Yeah, good point. Should be a club.
But I mean, that maybe it was someone else. But
I think a major facet of why you might not like the movie is because it's so Forgotten Realms. It is very Forgotten Realms.
I don't think that's the problem.
I don't think that's why he wouldn't like it.
I don't think that's the problem. So me, Patrick, Isaac, Jergs, Nate, and Will all went and saw the movie.
Yeah.
And we all have the same opinion.
Yeah.
Which is that it was really bad.
But how much did you drink that night, sir?
This is the first movie after the second.
It was the first movie. Yeah, I was really drunk for the Super Mario movie. I feel bad for the kids in that theater because we were so loud. It was so bad.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah, I felt a little like, I was kind of like, at one point I was just kind of like, shh, guys, we need to be like quieter. And then I completely forgot I had said that, and then it didn't.
I enjoy rowdy crowds more than anything, unless they're like annoying.
So your point is that it's the closest to the spirit of D&D you ever played.
Doesn't matter about what the rule breaking. I don't care.
Right. But the thing is if I had a D&D group that played like that, I wouldn't be there. I would leave the table. Because
I don't think you see the same way that we do.
The people, the way that, because we were talking about how it's like the way the party acted was literally how you'd expect people who are fresh onto D&D who only listen to Critical Role acted.
Nope.
I didn't see that at all.
Disagree.
That's how I saw it.
So why Ben and I talked about this afterwards too. Why it connects the dots with the spirit of D&D is because for the main part of the whole movie, the conflict is relationships, nothing to do with anything else. The main wizard is actually the main villain in the end is more of the backdrop, but the rest of the conflicts are all relationships.
Yeah.
So that's why the backgrounds are very important. As the joke goes, everyone's talking about the backgrounds. But a lot of the conflicts are about relationships, not about like random items or anything. Because the item was about the key to bringing back that relationship.
Well, yeah. What does random items have to do with it?
No, but like let's get this sword because we can.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Like let's look at the
MacGuffin chasing.
Let me
a D&D dungeon. Let's get the awesome thing.
I think the best D&D movie series that best captures what it's actually like to play the game is the Gamers movies from Dead Gentlemen.
I think the Gamers is a bit cringe at this point.
I have no idea.
I haven't rewatched them.
Good.
I haven't rewatched them. I remember them being awesome.
I've gone back and tried to rewatch some.
I'm sure it's cringe in retrospect, but hey, let's be honest here. Playing tabletop role-playing games is kind of cringe.
It is cringe.
The fact,
don't say it openly. Don't hit you turn off the recording.
We gotta censor that out.
Yeah.
All those 400 minis over there. Don't say it.
I don't know whose those are.
Look, I mean, I feel like a lot of my problems in general with how role-playing games are presented is because of how D&D has been mainstreamed, and a lot of that is because it's like, I'm not the target audience anymore. Yeah. The target audience Hasbro's going for now is the lowest common denominator. Yeah. Is fucking like
you're Pinkerton's target audience.
Yeah, exactly. I am Pinkerton's target audience. Or to give you that before, I'm the police's target audience. I'm in there with a tinfoil hat, like the cops are going to come take my books.
If the SRD had been changed appropriately with no actual backlash action, you'd be trying to release your RPGs right now with Pinkerton agents at your door.
Yeah, and then I'd be taking a page out of my friend Teddy K's book and this isn't my. You thought this was my role playing game? No, it's my manifesto.
Oh, geez.
Anyway, check your mailbox. No, I freely admit I'm not the target audience, and I think that's a big part of why I don't like the movie. I will also say before we continue, the things I liked about the movie.
All right, that's a good start.
The Faye backstory about how that all happened. That shit was tight.
I liked very much the actual depictions. Yeah. I saw multiple things of them reaching in and actually paying attention to the actual lore in Forgotten Realms.
Yep, and that was a big example. That was a really cool thing to see depicted.
Yeah,
and I'm actually really surprised they went with Red Wizards of Thay, because there's people who, not only among the group I went to see, but also I've seen people online who think that Thay was that Thay and Wizards were a contrivance that was added for the movie.
See, that angers me more than anything in the movie could be.
So mad. Yeah, this is why Poser's no entry. This is exactly why. So that was cool. The Speak with Dead bit was probably the funniest bit.
Oh yeah, that was great.
We enjoyed that.
That was really, especially because I feel like there was a couple other bits that were like one-offs that were fine. The Intellect Devourer bit was where it really started falling off. I thought that joke was noticeably flat, and then it never really recovered. But that Speak with Dead thing, it's like they had a comedy writer room and then hashed that all out. It was written and structured very well.
That's how a D&D game goes.
I'm not sure if I would equate people around a table rolling dice to a team of professional comedy writers, but
sometimes
I would equate it to our games.
That's our games. Besides, we have a podcast. We're already better than all the other fucking game groups. We're already funny. Yeah. They think they're funny. They think they have good games. Where's their podcast?
They would absolutely have one.
Yeah, they probably have one. Yeah. But as a tangent, I think it was Will who said we have officially made it past. Most podcasts the majority of podcasts end by now. Most podcasts have less than 20 or so episodes.
How long was
the majority of podcasts?
How long was
impressive, and yet we still haven't gotten anywhere. Yeah. But you know,
we've gotten somewhere. Red gave us $6.
That's correct. We're halfway. If we just get 2 more, then we can actually have a coffee.
Yeah. Yep. But no, we need actually 8 more so that we can pay the bill.
This is getting impossible. I think this is a last
or 4
episode.
more. Yeah, this is untenable, unaffordable.
8 more.
Do you know how much debt I have sunk into this podcast specifically? I thought it was going to be a sure thing.
Yeah.
I also want to say the first third of the movie I really liked. You were mentioning what got me on this. You were mentioning the relationships between characters.
Yeah.
I thought the relationships between the party was really great. I liked the whole thing being framed as a heist, where it's like,
Yes.
we got to go get the thing. We got to get the crew back together. It's Ocean's 11, but there's elves.
Yeah, that was cool.
I really liked, I know I mentioned this before, but I really liked how the thing started with him telling a story. I kind of wish that was the framing device for the entire movie, because that would have made it even tighter if the whole movie was him being told in front of the... Like, they should have went cliche with it. The cliches that they used and then wrote into, and then the things they referenced, like all that was working just fine. I thought it was working really well. It was then the Underdark portion happened, and then the movie, in my opinion, never recovered from that. But the first third, I was like, if you scrubbed D&D from this and threw this in like a bargain bin as a fantasy movie, I would not notice, and I would love it.
Okay, yeah. The big Pinkerton dragon.
Thunderchode.
Thunderchode.
The big Pinkerton dragon.
So what pleased me?
That fat dragon's gonna come and vor you.
What pleased me about that is watching the trailers and everything. I mean, believe me, Jimmy, I sat down. I was dragging my feet as we went into this theater. I was not expecting one good thing. I was expecting just rage to boil up in me.
He certainly was, and I didn't watch the trailer.
And but from watching the trailer, I fully assumed, okay, they're gonna make Big Dragon the big thing to fight at the end, and it's gonna have the big Marvel whatever, as much CGI as possible. The fact that they had that in the throwaway scene, just in the middle, it's stupid. Like a dragon actually getting that large. Like fucking read the Draconomicon. Dragons don't just eat everything. Most of the time, they just eat gems.
Yeah, but the dragon apparently is from an old book.
Yes, I remember the name, but he certainly looked nothing like that.
No idea.
He might have been a little big, but he certainly wasn't a potato.
Yeah. And that's
big,
exactly what a dragon would try to do.
You know.
But once I saw that they had the dragon, which I thought was going to be the big focus, and they just kind of threw it to the side, I was like,
he's just there.
Ooh,
he was just there.
How's this movie going to end? It really got me more invested. Sure, it was quite... that scene was basically what I thought the whole movie was going to be.
Right. Yeah. Same. I also didn't have very high expectations.
And they kept low.
Well, no, it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's nearly as good as people say it is. I will say, too, the final fight was well choreographed until Michelle Rodriguez gets her hands on that potato, and then I wanted to kill myself. I'm like, please, God, no.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let it end like this,
I forgot
please.
potatoes are actually a part of the plot. Yeah.
Yeah,
she just eats potatoes, I guess.
Yeah.
I
actually really enjoyed the whole constant why don't you fix it with magic thing, because that's not something that I ever see.
I
in
actually
games.
that was probably the most annoying thing for me.
You're probably annoyed by it, yeah. But that's actually something I wish.
I get the joke.
That is a sort of in character perspective I don't see in games most of the time.
I think it's important to be like, in order for us to establish the world, you have to know that. Yeah, magic doesn't just solve everything.
You're right. It's actually it was provided a very good explanatory
movie.
Method for the audience as well.
If I shit.
If you shit?
If I shit. No, if I saw the D&D movie on like Sci-Fi and it was the first 30 minutes and then, oh shit, I have to go now because I had something to do and I was just watching because it was on.
Yeah.
I probably would have thought that was a pretty cool thing to catch.
Yeah.
On it overall, I'd give it like a 40, maybe a 35.
I'd push it in a 55, maybe 60.
But this is also considering I don't think it's 60 territory, especially when you consider
I've seen some 60s.
That's good point. Good point.
It's at least 60. There's some 60s.
That's a good point. But like most action adventure fantasy movies get rated like dog shit anyway.
Yeah.
So I honestly feel like the ratings of like 90% and all that shit are like dishonest.
It certainly is.
And
certainly.
Because it's not that good.
Yeah. Not that many people can be enjoying the things that I enjoy.
Yeah, well, true.
That's
one of the reasons.
Yeah. Somebody's lying, all right?
Yeah, I guess
either I got bullied my life for no goddamn reason, or somebody's lying.
It's still a very in-crowd movie with clearly trying to bring in more crowds. There's way more in-crowd stuff than I was expecting.
It's been a while.
They named up a lot.
Which that's actually, I think, a lot of my problem. It felt pandering. So I really like the original D&D movie with Jeremy Irons.
That's what it's for.
That movie
Matt just watched it. So
I know you
got the
did.
That movie.
Give it to me,
I did math instead of watch that movie last night. I was doing math because I didn't want to watch it.
I like the sequel more than the first because the sequel's even worse, but it actually it's got little notes to D&D.
I like the first the first D&D movie, the 2000s D&D movie as a shitty fantasy movie. I really like it.
Like
I feel like the new D&D movie was better in a number of ways. Unfortunately, a lot of it was deflated to me because I felt like I was being actively pandered to. Okay, it was like fucking like, oh my god, did you hear? He said the name of the spell. Soy boy smile at screen. You know, like, it's like that never happened in the original D&D movie, to my recollection.
Because it was nothing to do with.
It had
D&D.
nothing to do with D&D.
They literally.
That's probably why I liked it.
Never said.
Yeah.
I just watched it.
Yeah.
It is a '90s movie with the name Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
it's nothing to do with D&D.
It's like watching
Absolutely
Dragonheart,
nothing.
but if Dragonheart forgot it was supposed to be charming.
Yeah, that's a good assessment, but I'd still watch it.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying I'm not the target audience, because the fact that it felt like it was noticeably pandering to me and noticeably trying to include D&D stuff, it felt like a lot of it overstayed its welcome, and there was a lot of contrivances that I felt like didn't need to be there. Like the whole Underdark sequence again, the bridge trap joke was awful. The fucking portal gun wand was fucking cringe as hell.
I thought I was like, why is it a portal gun?
Yeah, that fucking drove me crazy. The fat dragon rolling down the hill to some generic like 80s dad rock, fucking I hated that shit.
So really, if we just cut out the middle of the movie.
If you cut out the Underdark part, it would be a 60, 65 for me. If you made it to where the paladin went, they asked the paladin for the helmet, and he went into the woods, and he had it warded or buried in the woods, and then the assassins showed up in the woods.
First off,
would be way better
the paladin pissed me off because after immediately I was like, he's a Thayan, how could? And then they started explaining stuff, and I went, why didn't I think of this character? Holy shit, this is one of the coolest concepts I've ever fucking heard of.
I love how...
That's why it pissed me off, because I'm like, why didn't I make that character?
So he was acting super weird, and me and Will were like casting sideways glances on each other, like, what's this guy's thing? And then he's like, I don't really understand emotions. And we're both like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand now. I get what's up with this guy. Okay. Yeah. No, that completely put everything in context. I understand who this character is now.
Great. I like it. I like also... is my guess is that his wisdom's so high he can hear. That's why he hears so far away.
Yeah, I think that was one of the... They made some stat-based jokes, which was supposed to be what the whole intellect devourer thing was. Because every one of those classes should, if you build them right, have int as their dump stat.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as Ben let me know, they released stats for all those characters.
They did.
No, Ed Greenwood talked about that too.
It's all...
He said, Ed Greenwood said if it was a lesser intellect devourer, then it'd be fine.
Oh my god.
That's what he was like. Yeah, if it was lesser.
Of course Ed Greenwood would say something like that. Fucking nerd.
Well, he actually said I don't know if he said he specifically liked the movie, but he was a couple things he was just like he's like it was like one of those like lazy writing. It's like you could have just said lesser and then good, done.
I guess
and then it would have worked for him.
I think I think I think that's sort of dedication to the IP is the problem, because it felt very Marvel movie. And I think that's kind of what set me off.
I didn't see it that way, but I feel like you might just have.
I feel like it was way less Marvel movie
yeah.
than I was expecting. But now the thing is, speaking of Marvel movie and what I think is the closest approximation to D&D, I don't know if I can still feel this way, but I definitely felt it when it came out. The very first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, when it came out, I felt, I watched it and I went, this is the closest I've ever seen to how a D&D party typically actually works.
That movie rules.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree.
I will list all good superhero movies right now. Iron Man 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Thor Ragnarok. That's it.
Now we've got problems. No, Ragnarok. Not Love and Thunder.
Ragnarok.
Not Love and Thunder.
No, not Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
Love and Thunder was... It was okay.
I didn't watch Love and Thunder.
God.
As soon as Benny Casey watched it, and they were like, I'm like, all right, I'm not wasting my time.
Good idea. And I guess
I'm sorry, but you didn't mention literally me, the Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's also true.
The whole Dark Knight series and the new Batman. I liked it.
I have not seen the new Batman, but I really want to see it.
I still haven't seen it. So I have really problems with the new Batman, but I think those problems might go away once this Penguin show comes out. Because, oh my God. One, I never knew it was Colin Farrell.
Yeah. He's like indistinguishable.
I heard about that.
And then when I went into the details of going like, I'm like, because I watched the whole thing and it's like featuring Colin Farrell and I was like, really? Where was he? And then I watched it again and then I saw behind the scenes of how Colin Farrell turns into the Penguin and I watched that and I'm like, holy shit.
You know?
It's not like Danny DeVito where you just thought Danny DeVito was the Penguin the whole time in real life.
Yeah.
And it's obvious he'd be the Penguin.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell being the Penguin is not something I saw coming.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So my issue with the Batman is it feels like there's like 30 or 40 minutes too much that's irrelevant. But I'm now seeing with how they're going to try and do the Penguin show, that the very parts that I have problems with are what establishes that show to begin.
And it's interesting that you mentioned like length because I was talking about this. Was I talking about this with Patrick last night? I don't remember, but I think if I give the D&D movie a pass, then I need to hold the entire movie like industry accountable right now and blame them. Pretty much every single movie that has come out since 2010 could shave off like literally 45 minutes and be a better movie.
Yep. Except Beau is Afraid.
Except A24 films because they reliably come in under an hour and a half.
Nope.
Not Beau is
Reliably.
Afraid.
Not all the time, but reliably.
Afraid.
They do.
But Beau is Afraid is far too long, and I think that's part of its genius.
Yeah, I think it's part of it. Yeah. I think part of it.
I think it would not be as effective if it didn't exhaust you to get to where you're going.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, like A24, I had literally just had this discussion. I looked it up, and A24 movies on average are like an hour less of runtime than like any other movie that comes out.
Maybe I don't because wasn't
on average
on it like
wasn't Uncut Gems was A24, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Uncut Gems is a pretty long movie.
It is.
If it's not, it just
not
feels
all
like
of them. I don't know how many times I have to say on average.
Yeah, but all right, but let's list every A24 movie that is over an hour and a half. Uncut Gems, Beau is Afraid.
No, it's Or sorry, not an hour and a half. It's I was thinking 120, 130 minutes.
Oh, so okay,
yeah,
sorry. Under 2 hours. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because Uncut Gems is 135.
That's a lot of movies then. Yeah,
Uncut Gems is 135 minutes.
Yeah,
I was thinking in my head.
Longer.
I was thinking in my head like literally exactly 130, and forgot that an hour is not 120 minutes.
Yeah. That's I'll give you a pass on that. That's an easy thing to do. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I'm a fucking moron. That's why.
I'm
a word man, not a numbers man.
Thanks for the $6.
Yeah, Red. Thank you so much for the $6. I hope we answered your question.
I hope we
anybody
did.
else, if you want to have your name read off, or if you want to present us a topic or ask us a question, it's $6. ko-fi.com/wrongroom. And you could donate if you want and not leave anything for us to do, which is appreciated, but you definitely should. We want stuff to talk about, and
otherwise I'm scratching my ass. And I had to say that because we're getting that was almost into an ad break there, and people skip those.
People skip the ad breaks. Yeah. No, you literally the heroes on YouTube are the ones that put chapter dividers for the ads.
Oh yeah,
fucking heroes.
Yeah,
I've always wondered. Like, I wonder at what point people like Raid Shadow Legends and stuff are going to start like writing that into contracts that you can't like section off the ad. Oh,
geez,
because I bet you they will.
Well, that's why they have like a personal experience thing. They're trying to get people to use that parasitical social thing to make people buy it.
Just so you know, if you send us ad copy, we'll read it, but we are reading exactly what's on the piece of paper that you send us.
Yeah, and I will be reading it,
including all the terms and conditions.
I want to read it. I want to read it pronouncing everything wrong. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Yep. It's not. None of it's going to be right. I'm gonna, equate your product. I'm gonna make. It's not. I'm gonna allude.
I think it'd be better
to your
actually,
product being used in the commission of war crimes.
If we could get 2 ads, I'd like to read the description of one and then just connect it with a different one. That'd be fun.
Use one ad as the intro to the next ad. That's kind of funny as the lead-in. Yeah, I'm with that.
No, it's an add-on.
It's an add-on. Dude, I would love advertisers, but I also don't. I'm not going to be on here like, hey, kids, you've heard of this cool fucking product? If you send us some bullshit,
dude,
we're not
kids
gonna...
listen to this. We gotta stop for now. I know what you said.
Hey, I marked it explicit, so
Okay,
we get away with it.
What's that mean again?
We're explicitly talking to kids.
Yeah, we're explicitly talking to kids. Man, that is not going to be the episode title.
Explicitly for kids.
Look, but all the memery aside, like I'm only ever 70% ironic.
Yeah.
Except for the D&D movie.
Because, I mean,
unironic.
You'll change your mind in 6 months anyway.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter because nothing matters.
Yeah.
We're all going to die.
Oh.
And everything that we have done will turn to dust.
All right, this ad is
over. Now the ad's done. What was the ad for?
Dustbuster.
Euthanasia. Dustbuster. Dustbuster. Ashes to ashes. Dust to dust. Yeah.
Now, Casey, you're turning to ashes anyways because we're all being cremated. So, what do you use after you've...
Oh, we've actually got to, show the product in use. Oh, man.
All right, climb in. And you're like fucking naked and we're shoving you into a fucking, crematorium.
Dude, like the wrong...
If I'm going in, I'm wearing my best.
I would love to...
Damn straight. You're going to look like one of those people in the when they dance with the coffins and shit like that.
Yeah,
the dude
exactly.
looks super fly. That's what you're going to look like.
Oh, yeah. Tons of people were doing that after that happened.
So cool.
I was going to say, if we did have... I love it if we got the sponsors from, somebody that doesn't make any sense. Like we got a tool company to sponsor, so it's like me talking about this random new tool, and everyone's just quiet, and I'm just like, I'm fucking loving it. I love to go back to talking about D&D. It has nothing to do with what we're doing.
We know that that everyone who listens to the podcast plays role-playing games. We know most people who play role-playing games are incel nerds. That's why we're advertising Blue Chew.
Oh, you always got to bring up Blue Chew.
You always bring up Blue Chew. It always comes around.
It's very funny to me.
Yeah,
that's why.
When people do advertise,
because it's the idea is that you're too self-conscious to take Viagra, so you get gummies for men that make your dick hard.
Oh, they're gummies?
They're gummies.
I guess
I think we did say
buy some right now. I love gummies.
You'll have a fucking heart attack. I've heard they're not good for you.
Yeah,
unless they go to advertise for us, in which case I use it all the time.
Yeah.
It's the only way I get hard anymore.
I'll be replacing it with Red Bull, take a shot and then some Blue Chew.
Yeah.
Blue Chew's old, right? It's not old company?
It's been around for a while.
I was going to say, because that when we were younger, because we're all 65.
Yeah. Well, you definitely have been for a while.
No, but everything
old soul.
Everything turned to gummy bears at one point. Literally daily vitamins.
everything did turn to gummy bears. You're right.
That's why I couldn't swallow pills until this year.
Yeah. Dude,
The Blue Chew was probably around that time.
Yeah.
Because of course, kids don't want to fucking take pills, but you fucking force them to do it. Any pill you find,
I can
you
take
tell
it
them
without
you're
water.
gonna swallow.
It's not that hard. I can take it without water all the time.
Yeah, without
I
water?
used to, yeah. I used to do that.
No. I take it with water, but I don't have to.
Now I take fiber. I take fiber pills.
I wasn't able to take any pills, even with a liquid, until this year.
That's crazy.
That is wild. How do you feel?
Dick?
I feel like
How would you even do that? Would you just gag immediately? Asking for a friend.
He's got to get desensitizing topical cream for when he takes KY jelly.
I was about to respond, and then I literally got just locked up by that question.
That ends the first episode.
Oh, that doesn't.